All right, everybody. I'm so excited. We got the NFL Week 1 power rankings for two top sports. I got Mario here with me. How you doing, Mario?
Doing good. How about you, John?
I think I'm doing good. What'd you think about the first week of the season? Are you excited that we've had it?
Very excited. Very excited. Good football action.
Yeah, me too. Um, and there is a couple of teams that we didn't get in our top five, but and for whatever reason, we'll talk about that. Not in our top five. Who did you like?
Who's not in the top five?
Yeah, who did you like?
I like the Buffalo.
Yeah, what did you like about Buffalo?
At first I thought they would kind of take a little step back while Stephon D with the offense of Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
But Josh Allen showed why he always be an MVP candidate every year and why the Bills always be a favorite to go to the Super Bowl. Because when they saw Kyler Murray goes up 17-3, the defense stepped up and then Josh Allen stepped up. They got that slow start and then he just started hitting weapons. He started using legs. They started looking like a team that can go into the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, and as the same old Bills to me, because you know what Josh Allen's going to give you?
We're gonna give you.
He he's going to put his body on the line. He's going to do what he needs to do to try to win. He's big enough that Lamar Jackson and the kid in Washington, Jaden Daniels. I worry a little bit about injury with them. But for
Mm-hmm.
some reason, I just don't even think about that with um, your Buffalo quarterback because he just seems so big and so strong. I mean, that I don't worry about it as much. And it seems like he really runs opportunistically. Um, and I think you're going to get a couple of receivers out of that Buffalo team that are going to be good all of a sudden because they got him throwing to them. I mean, because I really like how that offense runs. And they
He's
seem
he's legit.
yeah. Because I thought the first half, Kyler Murray, I was sitting there thinking I was watching the game, and he looked as good as I've seen him that first half.
He did real good. Like he's seen everything. He was running when he supposed to.
Mm-hmm. But one thing that concerned me, there was one pass where they didn't complete. I think it was third down or something. And
Mhm.
you had mentioned to me the other day about his height.
Yeah. I said how he's
And
these tall like man he got.
well, and let me tell you, the other day in that game, I saw a video. He missed his third down throw, I think, and he was thrown underneath. But Marvin Harrison Jr. was 20 yards down the field, jumping up, waving his hands, everything.
He ain't seen him.
He didn't see him. So maybe that height thing,
Yeah.
hurt him, because, and I think they'll probably, his coach, they're probably coaching him up right now saying, look, you're going to have to look out and see where he is. Because, he only had did he have a catch? I think he had one catch, but
Wait,
only had
4 yards.
yeah, two or three targets. But he was absolutely wide open. I mean, jumping up and everything. And obviously, Kyler Murray didn't see him because if you have a wide open receiver, so maybe the height thing did play a factor. Maybe it does play a factor.
He
Everybody,
a little long. He got to step back a little further.
yeah, step back or move or just be aware that you need to make that adjustment that you got a receiver can get down there and get open that you need to look for him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, but yeah, they look so good. I thought first half Arizona and their defense is pretty good.
Good.
I think they had the second best defense last year. And how they're going to come into this year. And they look good that first half. But then, like you said, Josh Allen just cut loose.
You agree they'll
Um,
worthy team though, Arizona?
believe what?
You think they're a playoff worthy team?
I don't know. I need to see more. Now, do I think they're up and coming if Kyler Murray stays healthy? Yeah. Arizona's always got that play hard type of thing. I mean, Arizona very often has a great team, but they
Mm-hmm.
seem like they play hard every game. Because, when I was in Arizona, and I lived there and I'd go to the games, um, anytime Washington came to town or the Cowboys, they were right there in every game. They might lose them, some of them, but I mean, that's always Arizona for some reason has always been a battling team.
Yeah.
So I want to see a little bit more out of them. Let's, as the season progresses. Um, but yeah, I think they're up and coming. In Buffalo, I think they're what they normally are. I mean, because with Josh Allen, I mean, he's going to make your average players great. I mean, in my mind, just the way he plays and stuff. Another team I thought was really good um, this last weekend that's not in our top five is Miami.
Mm,
Um,
I
Tua
agree.
had a great game. Tyreek Hill, all the controversy and all that stuff, still came in, put his work hat on. He had 100-something yards. I think they're loaded offensively. They beat Jacksonville. And Jacksonville did hold them down a little bit because they do have a decent defense. But I mean, Tua still had I think 330 yards passing, and
Yeah, he has some good
um,
yards.
I think he had one of the. I think besides, well, him and Baker Mayfield, I think had the best offensive games of Week 1.
Most definitely.
So I think Miami, this could be the year if they can get home field. Well, what did you think about the Tyreek Hill thing?
With him getting the with the entertainment.
Pulled over and all that, yeah.
Uh, I think he could handle it better. I think he got mad when they knocked on his window too hard, but I think he
Hmm.
should like gave him a license, kept the window down, and just he would get away from the situation more faster. I think he kind of a
Right.
little aggressive than the police. They already were aggressive on the BS, so he didn't help himself out no way at all. He could handle the situation way better. So
Yeah.
I blame. I give him some blame on for starting it, and then the
Hmm.
kind of escalated though.
Well, see, and I'm going to go with you on that, and I won't tell you why. Because, see, Tyreek Hill came out in the media today, and he said he could have handled the situation better, and he didn't run, but he thinks the officer should be, reprimanded, maybe fired or whatever.
Yeah, because
And
he wasn't rich. If he wasn't
right,
Tyreek Hill, just imagine did somebody else like that. It wouldn't went down. It would probably went way worse if he
right,
wasn't like.
and I want to tell you, I was really proud of him of how he came out in the media.
Yeah,
Today, because he said I should have put my window down to start with, and situation would probably been a lot better. And that's good for I think him to say that because um, let's talk reality, and we're in Miami too, and there's a lot of um I don't I don't even know how to phrase this, so I'm not going to try. But I mean there's a lot of crime in Miami in a sense. But
crazy stuff.
because you got people coming in from other countries and stuff, you don't know what's going on. And a police officer don't really know what's on the other side of that glass,
Mm,
so it's going to help to be respectful so they know that, they're going to be safe. Because,
yeah,
when somebody's putting up their window and stuff. So I really like, and I'm not going to say no more about it, but I really like how Tyreek came out. I like how he said I should have put my window down and been respectful to the officers in the first place. But then he did say, but I think it got out of hand, and I agree because when
yeah.
you're slamming,
Once they took him out the car, they would have been extra.
yeah,
'Cause he started obeying, like he wasn't resisting arrest.
right,
Car and doing all that, they got extra then because like he wasn't trying to resist them like that.
hmm. So I'm gonna go with him, I'm really proud of him how he handled it
Yeah,
because he could have, just took a strong stance and said he shouldn't, blah 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 blah. But he came out the right way, and I think that shows a lot of maturity in him. I'm really proud of him for how he came out today in the media. So,
but they did.
um,
You remember well they ain't do him like that, but the golfer Scotty Scheffler,
Scheffler, yeah,
they did him kind of, but they ain't do him like that though. But it was kind of like I forgot. I saw the video though, but I forgot how it went
yeah,
down. It's been a while, but they today rest him, but like they said, they did him kind of a little wrong too. I think.
yeah. I mean, it was really similar, but
Yeah,
I mean, but that's just a bad visual. I mean, how an officer acts, I mean, because I think you can act professional at all time. I mean, just matter of factly take him out of the car and, walk him over and, you got him under control. There ain't no reason to be throwing somebody on the ground or whatever and all that, handle it in a professional manner. I mean, because I don't think a police officer should be doing anything with anger.
Nah,
I mean, be a professional.
you should have
Is
kept that cool though.
Yeah, and you're the police officer for one thing. You're supposed to set an example for everybody else. How do you want other people to act
But think about it,
when
they were
you're not?
Cuban thing though. The police they were Cuban. They wasn't
Yeah,
even white. They wasn't even like they were
right.
some.
hmm But I mean, but I really liked how he came out in the media. I was really proud of him. I think that's a good look for him, and maybe a lot of people can learn from this. I mean, if you do get stopped, just do what if they ask you to roll your window down, roll it down. They ask you for your license, give
You
it to
know,
them.
already he should have it down already and just go ahead and get out the way.
Right.
You gotta get to the game. I ain't got time to be playing with y'all.
Right. All right. So we are in agreement pretty much on that. So we're going
Oh,
to go ahead and move on. I wanted to say a little bit about it, but the main thing I wanted to make, I really liked how Tyreek Hill came out today and how he handled it and what he said and stuff like that. I thought that showed a lot of maturity out of him. So I wish him all the luck in the world tomorrow. All right. So now we'll get into the actual teams that are in the top five. So here we go. Whoops. All right. Here's our first week power rankings. What do you think about that, Mario?
I like it. I agree with it. I agree with
Mm-hmm.
the order. I
Right.
agree with Kansas City 1, 4 now 2, Detroit 3. Now the
Mm-hmm.
Eagles, they can really be like, which one you want to take. But I mean Cowboy did win their division last year, so they deserve
Mm-hmm.
that. So
And me and you did have a debate on, before we put it up, because you were thinking Buffalo and I was thinking Buffalo too. I thought about them too, and we'll start with the number 5 team, and I'll tell you why I thought they should be number 5. I
okay.
mean, the main reason is Barkley. I mean, I think that's going to open up that offense. And I know everybody's saying, well, Green Bay passed a lot on them this first week and stuff. Their defensive struggles aren't fixed. They don't have the cornerbacks. But I want to say, they do have 3 or 4 new players in that secondary.
Mm-hmm.
So I ain't going to sell them out yet and the reason being, because that's what Green Bay does. They go, they score, they always have a good offense. So I'm not going to throw the towel in on what the changes they made on the defense yet. I want to see how it goes in the season. But I mean, there's a lot of people that Green Bay over the years just thrown up some offensive numbers on. So I ain't going to sell them out yet. But Barkley, oh my goodness. I mean, he looked like the real deal there. I mean, 3 touchdowns, playing with a lot of enthusiasm. I mean, and you can tell, I think, because, nobody plays in the preseason and anymore. So I think it takes them a week or two to get in rhythm and just get the feel for things. And the teams that I thought was ready to play offensively was Kansas City,
Mm-hmm.
was San Francisco,
Mm-hmm.
and Philadelphia.
Okay.
They were ready to play offensively,
They really
and
would.
I mean, it really was. And people probably say, "What about Baltimore?" Because there's a little debate to me how they used Derrick Henry at the end of the game,
They didn't use him like Philly used Saquon Bill.
right? And I think they need to look at how they're going to use Derrick Henry, because to me, there should be no reason for him to be on the sideline.
In the
At
half, like,
towards the end of the game.
come on.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I just don't get that. I mean, because I think he can catch a pass or two too, but um,
Who you
yeah,
think?
and I think
You think it was John
what's
Harbaugh
that?
or the defensive coordinator? Who think I did it was?
Um, Goodness,
It
I
gotta be one.
think
It gotta be one of the two.
well, and I think it was did for Lamar Jackson, and the reason being because they want him to pass, so it's probably better for who they put in. They think put in a running back that's more apt to catch passes and stuff like that, or maybe a better blocker. But I mean, I don't know Lamar Jackson's exact red zone numbers, but I think he was like 5 for 6 in the red zone on passing. He
Mm.
wasn't very good on passing. I mean, and he missed open receivers, in the red zone. So I mean, and that's where your money's made because Kansas City get down the red zone. Hey, you pretty
Chris
much
at
know
home.
they're
Oh,
going to
he
score. Yeah, same with San Francisco,
Yep.
and then Philadelphia with Barkley and their other offensive weapons. They're probably going to score.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's where your money's made. I mean, because I think they say the average margin of victory in NFL is only 3 or 4 points. You
Yeah.
know that. You're a betting man, and so am I. So, um, it's very low. So if you can't put it down in a close game, because that's what sets apart to me is the teams that win the Super Bowl or go to the Super Bowl, and the teams that can't, because when you get down to that situational play at the end of a game, and can you take it home?
Exactly.
I mean, I know they Baltimore lost by toe, and they're calling Baltimore now Baltimore instead of Baltimore. Um, but I mean, he missed that same receiver a play or two earlier who was wide open in the end zone from short distance. So, um, yeah, it's rough. And then, and probably, once that he missed a wide open receiver, and what was his name? Flowers, maybe
He made Zay
that
Flowers
receiver.
right in the middle. Like,
Yeah, and then that was the same one that had his toe. But see, and then when they see where he's going to go, see, they probably saw that he wanted to throw to Flowers. So what they did is their defense, they kind of set it up to where it pushed Flowers back closer to the end zone and maybe be out of bounds. So I mean, there's a lot of strategy in these short goal line situations and
yeah.
situational football. I mean, so we have no idea. But back to Philadelphia. What did you think about Barkley's performance speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about the quarterback? How did he play?
He was okay. He wasn't extraordinary. He wasn't bad. He was
Right.
like that. And he didn't make them lose. So he did his thing.
Right.
Jalen Hurts.
Mhm.
He really don't like really start out too strong. Especially
Mhm.
if he got a running back that really run the ball. He don't mind deferring to the higher hand. So the running back high,
Right.
he gonna get it to him, and he's just gonna not mess the ball the game up. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna make
Yeah.
no mistakes. So I
And I really yeah, I really liked their game plan. I mean, they came out with a good game plan. And I mean, and everybody's going to say, well, Jordan Love really got him most of the game, but he was only 50% on his passes that game.
think
When the quarterbacks got that low for completion percentage, I mean, you're holding them down a little bit.
that's a good
You
defense.
know, yeah. So that wasn't bad. Just let's not even look at what the points were. I mean, they were playing the quarterback well. They were playing Jordan Love well. And then he ends up getting hurt on a fluke play. And we talked about that last week, that field, I mean, having to go overseas and play in places don't have the same standards we do with professional stadiums and stuff.
Yeah,
It's dangerous. I mean, and I think the next overseas game, we got a barn burner coming up overseas. I think it's going to be in Germany.
It's that Panthers and Giants game.
Yeah, the Panthers and the Giants. I mean, that's going to be a barn burner there, boy. Let me tell you.
Yeah, this the last this the last punch on USA got for World War II. I like really.
Right, exactly. Okay, so I thought Philadelphia looked good. I thought Barkley looked awesome. I'm not going to sell out their defense yet, so that's why they're in the top five. Because I think they're offensively they're really good. All right, so Dallas, the Cowboys. What do
Here
you
we go,
think about the Cowboys game?
man.
How
I was
about
shocked.
them Cowboys?
Man, how about them Cowboys? I was shocked, man. That got his money. I'm really more shocked at the defense how they played, and I'm really more
Mm-hmm.
like I'm really trying to see is it more of Deshaun Watson? He just like washed up, or he just the Cowboy defense doing like I always do every year. First couple games before 10 games get him, they just dominate everybody. They just look good,
Mm-hmm.
and they just mysterious start struggling. You see Michael Parsons disappearing. You forget that he's out there,
Right.
and then the
You
playoff.
know,
So
to me, Dallas, and the reason that and you said you thought they were in the top five too, and I think you picked them at 3. So, but I did move them down to 4. Um,
it wasn't no
but
order. I'm just saying that it wasn't no order. But
right, okay, I'll
order
take
right
that.
there.
But I think Mike Zimmer is going to do worlds for that defense. I mean, you think they used to pressure the quarterback? They're going to be constantly coming for him.
They
I
kept.
mean, I think Micah Parsons had 9 or 11 quarterback pressures. He had a sack,
It
and
might
I
be his
think
on the hill. He probably had the best season on my Zoom, I believe.
he could definitely have decent. He could be set up for decent player of the year.
Oh,
And I think the whole team had like 20 something quarterback pressures, and I think Lawrence, the other guy on the defense, he had 2 sacks, and I don't know what the final tally was. But I think that defense is going to be dangerous. I mean, because Mike Zimmer's always been known for a defense, and he's always going to be blitzing. And what I liked about him too is he was moving around Micah Parsons.
yeah,
He would be on one of the ends, and he'd be on the other end, and he'd be at linebacker, and I like that because you want to keep that offense guessing.
what about the coach?
I mean, the what?
What about the coach of the Cowboy? What do you think about him?
McCarthy?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, if you look at his record and stuff, I mean, he's been one of the best coaches in the last 10 years with Green Bay and here. You look at his stats. He's got more wins. I think he's got more playoff wins. I think, than most. I mean, you're always going to have Andy Reid up there and I don't know the exact numbers, but I think you got Andy Reid and you got what's his name, Bill Belichick.
yeah.
Probably San Francisco is probably getting up there in their stats, recently. But Mike McCarthy
Not overall. You're talking about recently, right? Recently, when he
is one of the best quarterbacks, and we talked about this in our NFL preview. I think it cost him defensively against that Green Bay game last year that
mm-hmm.
he couldn't. He's so busy worrying about calling his own plays, which is fine. But you better have the right defensive coordinator there.
You true.
And I don't want to hate on Dan Quinn because he's moved on as a head coach. Let's see how he does. Because I thought he did coach a good game. I mean, Jaden Daniels, he probably had the best game of all rookie quarterbacks. I did notice, I mean, he was either getting away or throwing the fastest pass. I talked about this with Bo Nix a couple of weeks ago. He was either releasing it within 2.6 seconds or he was running.
Yeah,
And I think he was making his decision a little too fast. He wouldn't let the progressions going, maybe hit his second receiver or his second look. He was running and that's a rookie. I mean, we can't hate on him at this point. I mean, that's just something you got to learn
true.
as an NFL quarterback because there's a lot of things going, I mean, so I think, I was really impressed with him for his first game. And so therefore, I think they ran into a buzzsaw against Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay. So, I mean, Baker Mayfield just got his money, so they were excited and stuff like that. And they might make it to the top 5. They can win a couple more games, so we'll see. So Mike McCarthy, I think at this point, I have no problem with him. And Dak, he got his money. I mean, he's been one of the best quarterbacks for a few years. And a lot of people are starting to go to Dak's side because a lot of times when that money starts getting there, then that confidence starts to go and, come, and the other players on the team start playing harder because they want him to be successful. Dallas with that defense could be dangerous. All right, the Lions. Well, how did you think about them week 1?
At first, I was like, they played good the whole game. It's just they battled the Rams, and we know in the playoffs, the Rams lost them by 1 point. And the Rams are a playoff team. We know that. We know they got Sean McVay. We're not gonna act like they're still not good just because Aaron Donald retired. They still got Matt Stafford. Cooper Kupp look like Cooper Kupp back again.
He did.
Now, they like Puka. They lost Puka, but they still had Cooper come in. And it's just something about the Rams team. It's just like, and plus, it like you got quarterbacks that played for the opposite side at one point.
Right.
It's gonna be some familiarity there. So it was a good game. Detroit came back and win. They running game just still good. That run game still, they shook out that rush, but the round game a good game though. I'm not surprised the round did that. They could went either way, but the Detroit Lions, man, they still got it, and they win games like that.
Right, and I expected Rams to get a good game. For one thing, that they were coming back to Detroit, which Stafford was there for 10 or 12 years or however long he was there. So they had a little extra incentive. I do definitely think Cooper Kupp is back. He had one of the best games I've seen out of him in a minute, so, but Detroit, they are what we think they are. They're a good running team. We didn't see a lot of Big Gamble Campbell rolling. He didn't get it. So, but he was punting. There was one play. There was 1 yard to go, and he punted. I almost fell out.
That was the problem. It looked so weird.
Yeah, you can't, because you can't. Don't be questioning the sports gods, the football gods, because you start doing things that just don't normally be done. It might be a Ravens success, or everybody's going to criticize you. And I ain't saying don't do it every once in a while. Now, every once in a while, do it. That keeps you interesting. But you can't make a steady diet of going for it on fourth and all that. You don't make no steady diet of that.
You think he learned a lesson from all the gambling he did last year?
Right. But I don't, as the season goes on, I don't think he's going to sit down and not do anything.
Yeah.
But you need to make it more situational, because I think that cost him the San Francisco game. But that being said, reason I thought they should be in the top 5, it's just what they done last year. For one thing, and they look like they got the same team, they got the same quarterback. And they got a great running game. I love Gibbs. And when I saw the first game last year, I think it was, just the way Gibbs was running, and I said in Detroit, that nobody decided they were going to be good yet. But I said, dang, that sucker's running, boy. So I think this team's going to be good. So, and I was right. They almost took San Francisco down in the playoffs. So we'll see. They're in year 2 of everybody gunning for them. And this year, a lot more teams are going to get a lot more up to gun for them. Because they've showed something, so now everybody's going to.
They got a chance.
This could be their Super Bowl to beat Detroit. If you're a 3-7 team, everybody's going to be, and they're going to start feeling what somebody like Kansas City and San Francisco feels all the time. So, what do you think about Detroit? You think they're on the right track?
Oh yeah, their division most definitely is. They got they can, get a little space between them and Green Bay to enjoy love out now. So close, widen the gap. They ain't got to worry about that now. So they're really in a good position right now to take over that division, get it again. So they locked pretty good. They're good right now. They got a good spot right now.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So we got San Francisco and Kansas City,
Mm.
and
Yes.
and and the main reason I think they're the 1-2 because they were in the Super Bowl and they both won yesterday or this week, and ain't nobody told me nothing different yet.
Ain't nobody
So I mean, I thought San Francisco looked great,
they juggernauts.
um, and I think the Jets they paid for none of their starters playing in the preseason because when they got in that game, they could not stop. No, I mean, San Francisco scored on 8 straight possessions
They had a running back that never starts in high school.
and it never started. So, I mean, he had almost 150 yards rushing, I think. And I don't know how many touchdowns he had, but yeah, I mean,
Hey, John,
and
me and you can run through the holes.
you think? I mean, and the
We can.
Jets defense has been great, and I think they will be great. But I just don't think they were ready. I mean, and you don't play in the preseason, and I know the veterans don't need to play, but them 1 or 2 year players, I don't care how good they are, I think they need to be out there to get some time.
They do.
But because I mean, you're still learning. You might think you're good, but there's going to be something different for you. Yeah, because I mean, the Jets just couldn't put up no defense against them. I mean, they could not stop. And Purdy looked like Joe Montana. I
Man,
mean,
he ran like Steve Young one time. I'm like, dang.
exactly, yeah, and he didn't even slide. I mean, yeah, I mean, and Purdy now is 18-4 in his
Dang.
regular season starts.
He was ready.
So,
They won't better Mahomes.
I mean, and this was Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the draft.
He ain't relevant no more.
I mean, yeah, he's not. I mean, he's still only making like 900 something thousand, and after this year, they're gonna have to get paid.
He gonna be
So, um, so we don't know what the future is going to hold for him. Which I think, if he keeps playing, I don't think he's going nowhere. I
they
think
gonna.
San Francisco's probably got their quarterback of the future. Now,
Mm-hmm.
for better or for worse, I still think as the season progresses, some defenses are actually going to stand up against them. And I still have a feeling Purdy might start to get, he's going to have some adversity and maybe get a little happy feet. He is a little small. You don't want him being hit a lot. But I mean, San Francisco just looked unbelievable. Debo, I know they all looked great. I mean, and I mean, to me, the Jets didn't stand a chance.
Then
And
they
I noticed that really quick. I
they
mean,
outmatched. Like I was looking there, like they can't stop that run. I'm like, y'all just outmatched. I'm like, they
yeah.
just physical the 49ers.
hmm So actually, San Francisco, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, probably looked like the best complete team. Even though I got them at number 2, but that offense just looked so great, and that defense. I mean, they held down Aaron Rodgers. Coming back from his injury and stuff, ain't played in almost 2 years. Um, I mean that, and I don't think Aaron Rodgers has enough receivers. I think they need to get another receiver for him.
Yeah, but Garrett Wilson
Um,
can't do everything. They need one more.
yeah, they need one more receiver, or he ain't gonna be able to do a lot of damage.
Maybe they can sign
Um,
some trade. Maybe.
yeah, but San Francisco to me just looked fantastic,
Yeah, they scared. They look.
and
Yeah, I mean, everybody.
yeah, I mean,
I mean, it look unfair.
yeah, and I'm not a big 49ers fan, but they just look great.
I just respect them. I'm not a
Yeah,
fan.
I mean, and that's what I mean.
You just like they just respect. You gotta respect them.
Right, exactly, because I mean, it just looks so good. I mean, that offense just like it was clicking on everything, even without McCaffrey, and that's what's scary. I mean, can this running back keep that up? I mean, if he can keep that up, and then you get that 1-2 punch where McCaffrey don't have to run all the time, and he can sit every once in a while. I know he wants to be out there every play, but he's getting at that age where he's got to be careful. Because
Yeah.
right now he's got a calf and an Achilles. I don't know if he'll play this week.
Especially for a running
So
back.
yeah, for a running back, I mean, you start getting those injuries and stuff. I mean,
I wouldn't rush him
then
back. I wouldn't rush him back.
I wouldn't rush him back either. I
But he,
mean, make sure he's healthy.
the only
I
team that can beat
mean,
really the other two teams in the top 3. They're the only team they can beat. to me.
Right. Yeah. And I agree. I mean, and depending on how the divisions work out, I mean, I'd like to see. I'm sure Dallas will be playing San Francisco this year. I
you,
don't know when,
you know what they're gonna
but
happen.
I want to see that defense against San Francisco.
Oh,
All
Mike
right,
Zimmer. I hear you.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
going to tell me how good that is. And matter of fact, let's take a look at the schedule, and I can pull that up right here. I think. Um, yeah. So right here we got. Let's
Oh yeah.
find. Let's find Dallas.
Oh,
Where they
I
at?
see. It. I see. It. I see
You
San
see
Francisco.
it?
They played in. They played Dallas week. What is it? Week 8 before a bye week. It is week 8.
San Francisco. Yeah, week. Looks like something like that. Yeah, looks like it is week 8. Mm-hmm.
And
And
then Dallas.
where's that game? And that game is in Dallas. So
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be a good little game there, I think.
At San Francisco.
And see, in San Francisco,
Yeah, when you go Dallas at San Francisco.
is
Ooh.
it San Francisco? At San Francisco?
Yeah, SF. Yep.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. We're reading
Ooh,
it great. You're right. It is in San Francisco. Yeah,
man.
so we'll see that here pretty soon. But,
Ain't Dallas.
looking at San Francisco's schedule, I mean, next few weeks they got at Minnesota, at the Rams, then
Then
New
win.
England, Arizona, at Seattle. Then they play KC.
They're gonna
It
be an
looks
A.
like week 7.
They're gonna be an A.
Um, yeah, and that'll be at San Francisco too. So they'll have 2 games in a row,
I'm sorry,
against
I'm sorry, they're not beating Mahomes.
their schedule don't look that hard to me, but I mean that could all change. But yeah, it don't look that hard to me.
I'm gonna respect
So
Rams in Arizona. I'm gonna respect Rams in Arizona. I respect them. They're gonna be a
yeah, and I
hard.
want to respect them too. And it's a division game, so usually those are always good games anyway. So um
That Tampa Bay game
yeah.
gonna be interesting too, though.
Yeah, I think because Tampa Bay, I mean, they got the good defense too. I mean, because they have a good defensive coach. I mean, and Baker Mayfield's on fire right now. So, I
NFL
mean,
just silly though.
yeah. All right, so we all agree that San Francisco looked fantastic, and the only reason if you'd have just gave me their stats and how they played, gave me Kansas City and how they played, with no other thoughts about what happened last year, the KC are Super Bowl champions, I would probably put San Francisco number 1.
Yep.
But
It don't have no problem there either.
yeah, but Kansas City is the Super Bowl champions. They look like they made a lot of additions this year. They got Worthy, they got Hollywood to be coming. I mean, they still got the same defense. That defense is great. Um, so until somebody tells me something different, they got to be number 1 there. I mean,
Kansas City did something or not couldn't do. They couldn't contain Lamar.
right. And and they let him run, but when it came time to pass, they just I mean, because we talked about that game last year between Baltimore and San Francisco around Christmas, and um, Baltimore just roughed them up. I mean, but Kansas City, they seem to have Harborough's number and Lamar Jackson's number.
No matter whether they home
So
or on the road, it doesn't matter.
yeah, I mean, because when we talked about their record, I think that makes um, Andy Reid 7-2 against Harborough, and that puts Mahomes 5-1 against Lamar.
5-1.
So yeah, 5-1. So you can't argue with them numbers. I mean, and like you got your number, I mean, when you got them stats, I mean, I can't argue with that yet. San Francisco and KC, I mean, I think Kansas City lost to San Francisco in the Super Bowl just a couple of years ago, right?
You said who now?
Correct. I said Kansas City lost to San Francisco just a couple of years ago
That was no, that was no, they beat them. That was Mahomes' first Super Bowl, I think. And they lost
Oh,
to
was it?
he lost to I think Brady, Tampa Bay.
Yeah. I think you could be right. Yeah. But I mean, these are definitely the best teams in the league. I love how
They are.
Shanahan coaches. I mean, he seems, and even this year, they got a lot of seventh rounders and third rounders who are playing and getting good playing time. I mean, that running back Mason looked fantastic. I think he did slip up and tell everybody he knew since Friday that he was going to be starting, and San Francisco didn't officially announce it till like an hour before the game. So they're probably going to get fined.
Oh, okay.
Well, and
Okay.
the reason being because I
Of course.
mean to keep things on the up and up. I mean they got to release those things on time. I think they're supposed to announce Saturday morning what exactly their injury reported. And you can make somebody questionable when they still play, or you can make somebody questionable when they
No,
don't play.
no, it could. It
But you
could.
gotta have.
It
I
could
mean,
be.
they could have, but they didn't say anything about
Yeah.
McCaffrey. And when you're supposed to announce.
But I ain't feel like
So
though. They was saying it really for a while. They said on the last week of preseason that he might not start the week one though.
yeah,
They,
but I mean that's all speculation in the media now.
yeah, that's speculation. You're
But
right.
you got to officially declare it.
Yeah.
Because and for the reason being because you got a lot of people are betting
Yeah.
and they want to keep their relationship with Vegas and all the bettors and stuff. Because I saw something really interesting. That Auburn quarterback, people were messaging him asking him for some money because they lost on him. but I mean, but that's a part of the game. I mean, is the betting and stuff like that, and um, there's a lot of money rolling, and to keep things honest, you gotta follow the regulations and announce when you're supposed to announce and stuff
It's
like
true.
that.
It wasn't gonna matter. It wasn't gonna matter.
Hmm.
I will dominate, man. It doesn't matter.
Right? Yeah, and you're probably right.
It
But I
doesn't.
don't know what did the line end up being.
It was at first it started at 5.5, then it went down to 3.5. But I mean, all the money, well, 54% of the bet was on the Jets, and then 4 something. So it really kind of even. So really, it wasn't like no crazy money mismatch. It was about even.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, because everybody was betting on it. But a lot of times your betters, even though you didn't declare, they probably in the heard somewhere McCaffrey wasn't going to play, and
Yeah, prep.
I mean, even though you didn't follow the proper procedures,
Yeah,
people find a way to find out things. You
yeah.
know how life is, especially if you're a big gambler. I mean, they probably got some dude that lives down the street and say, "Hey, we saw McCaffrey. I don't think he's gonna play." I mean, they're gonna find out what
Hey,
they need, and
I saw my. He said, "Man, I ain't playing that week now."
yeah. I know we ain't got spies and we bet, but I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that do. So what'd you think about Worthy and how they used him and stuff like that?
They use the right way by them getting that ball early, let him touch the ball because he's a
Hmm.
rookie. Instead of just passing to him, that was smart move by Andy Reid, and you saw what happened. Touchdown.
Yeah, and that's what I told you before the season started that Andy Reid's gonna know how to use him. And now you got to think about that.
Mm-hmm.
They get down
He
in the
can
in the
reverse.
red zone. You got to think about a reverse. I mean, that and he planted a seed, and
Yeah,
then he had the long pass where um he broke coverage and they just couldn't keep up with him. So, and I think he had 3 touches in the whole game, 2 of them being touchdowns. So, yeah, I really think Andy Reid's going to know how to use
you'll
him.
see some little weird play. He might be in the backfield. Mahomes might throw him a little shovel toss. He might be in
Hmm.
cat formation. You never know. He could
And
be.
I think Rasheed Rice
Oh yeah,
looks
he
like
could.
a true possession receiver.
Watch him say
I
he a
mean,
possession receiver.
yeah, and that's what you want. I mean, then watch Hollywood come back. He's got a little speed too, or come. He hasn't played yet, and Juju is
I
coming.
forgot about him.
I want to see that offense on all cylinders. I
Mm,
mean, I mean that's. I mean, San Francisco last year. probably pound for pound. I'm not saying at quarterback, but they probably had the best offense last year in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But Kansas City still got them. Last year, I think was the chance for everybody to get Kansas City because that offense, they didn't have the receivers, they just didn't have the explosion. Well, I want to see this whole offense together here in a week or two. It might all be together this week, but
Oh,
yeah. So I'm kind of I'm comfortable with this power rankings. You comfortable with it?
I'm comfortable with it. I think it probably stay like this for about another week too.
Think so?
Yeah, I think probably the same thing. You look at the Cowboys. Who they got next?
Mm,
Who the Cowboys had next on the schedule? He had up there.
let me throw that back up.
Let's see. That. Okay, Dallas got New Orleans. Ooh, New
Yeah,
Orleans
and
show.
that could be a good game, but that's in Dallas. So
Well,
yeah,
now
and Derek Carr, he had a great game last week, but let's see what he does against somebody rushing him.
before not get Minnesota, and then Kansas City got Cincinnati. I think Burrow he ain't well, he played good against Kansas City though, so he might wake up a little bit. But I think they still lose though.
Where's Philadelphia?
They got Atlanta. They got Atlanta. Yeah, they got Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta got embarrassed last week by
Oh,
New
Detroit.
Orleans, no, by Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Detroit got Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that could be a good early game. There's a couple of good early games. Um, so all right. So you might be right. We'll see. We'll see. All right. So that's it for our little power rankings for week 1 of 2024. To me, it's a lot of same old, but we'll see if some other team can get it going and get it up there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll sign off right now and see you next time.
Yeah.